Morning, good afternoon. This is Coach Bill Pipes with Tom Ferry, your coach. As always, alive, excited, full of energy, and more so today than I have been in quite some time. This is our very first inaugural, the beginning of our Real Success interviews, where we're taking the top agents from around the nation and every single month interviewing them for their top practices, their breakthroughs, their breakdowns, how they got through it, so that you have the opportunity to grow with them, to hopefully collapse your growth curve and move through your success strategies as quickly as possible. You know, it's really interesting because when we were doing studies, we looked at the National Association of Realtors statistics in terms of what the average agent earns. And surprisingly, 54% of the agents that are in part of the National Association of Realtors earn less than $100,000 last year in 2013. And you know what? We looked at that and said, my gosh, here are men and women. They're hungry agents. They want to succeed. They've got drive, many of them passion, many of them working super hard. And we thought, why is it that they're still not breaking that six-figure threshold? Why is it that some people who are listening have it? And our thought was this. We believe that success leaves clues, right? I've heard Tom say it again and again and again. And ultimately, our thought is, if we just follow those clues, we follow the trails, the crumb trails, that you'll achieve the same success that the individuals that we've had the chance to work with. You'll achieve the same success that our top clients that have tripled their income over the course of 1 year, and you deserve it. So our goal is to bring you best strategies, bring you incredible ideas, and hopefully, when we're done, some incredible motivation for you to go out there and just take control of your marketplace, because you deserve it. Now today, for our first interview, we got a real great privilege. We got a good friend of mine, one of our top clients, someone that I personally get to work with every single week as his coach, Mr. Darren Langille. And Darren's going to introduce himself here to you guys here in a second, but something to know about him. I mean, this guy, in a very short amount of time, has created an incredibly leveraged business where he's still working hard. But I mean, there's no doubt in these next couple of years he'll continue doubling the income and doubling the transaction count that he has. So I'm super pumped to introduce you to Mr. Darren Langille from Calgary, Canada. Mr. Darren Langille, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Bill. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks again for being here in many ways. You know, Darren, I wanted to give everyone the chance. I mean, I have the privilege of talking to you every single week. And and working together, and you and I putting our strategies together. So I know you pretty well, and your family. However, these individuals don't know you. So if you would just take a quick moment and give them a little background on you, a little history, how long you've been in the business, and just sort of the process of getting to where you were or where you are today.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm a father of two kids, a 6-year-old and a 10-month-old. He is walking, so I'm chasing him around.
Good.
I've been in the real estate business for 9 years now, but as an agent, I've only been in since 2008. So I've just hit my 5-year mark as a real estate agent. I guess where I got to here, I joined coaching a year ago. I really decided to give my business the focus it needed and take more than what was coming in my lap. So it's been just over a year now with Tom Ferry, and really I feel like 1 year really giving real estate the focus it needs.
You know, it's amazing, man, because 5 years, I was just looking at this on our notes, 5 short years in the business, like really as an agent. And last year you closed how many homes did you sell? How many families did you assist?
Yeah, last year we did 50. I say we loosely because I just created a team at the back end of the year. So I had really an agent and a half on board with my team, no assistant or anything else at that point in time. So now I say we because we have a team of 3 buyers agents, myself as the team lead and listing specialist, as well as a full-time assistant, a client care coordinator that's full-time, virtual in the Philippines, as well as a transaction coordinator at the office.
Good. So, I mean, a lot of growth this year, right? I mean, in terms of hiring and bringing individuals on, but that's not new to you because you guys have other companies as well too. I mean, you guys have a mortgage company and you also have a property management company. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a service company, service and renovations, as well as our kind of investment holdings company too.
When are you going to go full time, man? 3 companies? Come on, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Share with them, if you would, how many homes have you sold so far this year?
Sure. We're at 65 firm this year. We've got 3 pending in the pipes right now, and we're on track for our goals, which were about 2.5 times what we had done last year. So we put a lot of focus and effort into this year, but we're on pace, so we're pretty excited.
Dude, watch. Yes! I couldn't be prouder of you, man. And you deserve, yeah, pat yourself on the back for sure, dude. You know what? It's interesting because I really wanted to talk a little bit today about just 2 components to your business. I believe, and I heard this from your good friend Chris Spiker, right? And I've heard Tom say it as well too, is that any great business has at its core tried and true business methods, business strategies that really generates a large portion of the income. And once those tried and true methods are in place and those strategies are systematized, then it opens up the opportunity then at that point to really start placing your bets. Chris Spiker says, get your core together and then start placing your bets on some of the more sexy, some of the more cutting edge, more techie, shiny object type of things. How critical is your core portion of your business model, your tried and true, like database, door knocking, I mean, all the things that worked 20, 30 years ago, they work now, they're work in the future. Sure. How critical is that for you?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not everything, but I almost say that it is. I ran stats for you there when we started, and I think I was close to 80% from my past clients, referrals, my network, which I thought was a big scary number. But again, it's a great core that we're making sure we aren't losing that while we go chasing these new opportunities and new ways to lead generate that might be a little more techy or a little more automated or less personal like we do with our networks. And I come back to that. I actually just refocused again here for my second half and wanted to make sure I keep on my sphere and past clients as I always used to as a single agent when I didn't have this support team.
So what do you do? What is the process? I mean, because if you're getting 80% of your business, I mean, that's 45, 46 transactions already this year, on pace to just see 100 units just off your database. I know I'm thinking if I didn't know your business, well, what does he do? How does he approach it? So can you tell us or just sort of take us through, what the main strategies are that's giving you that great return right now from your database?
Sure. No, I'm just the most networked person in the world. That's it. No, not at all. You know what? I guess me and my team, I instill in the team that we spend in around an hour and a half a day on each other's sphere. Simple things: Facebook messages, calling, touching base on email if that's the best thing, just to stay in touch with them. We use, obviously a database management tool contextually. It reminds us, it tells us who we should be talking to depending on which bucket we've placed them in, and that makes it easy. And then again, it's just the discipline to just make sure that you reach out as personal as you can to stay top of mind with these guys. This year we've started a few things like a direct mail out to our mail list. I didn't have that before. We're just doing it. Again, I'm getting great response from people are happy to see the stuff from us, see the growth. When their network and sphere, their friends and people that know you and trust you, they're actually quite happy to hear from you and see what you're doing. So as I add a new team member or we'll send them a message. We're just about to start kind of what I call a sphere engagement plan that will bring my sphere together so that we as Redline and my Darren Langille real estate team become the common link between these people. So trying to create a very powerful culture there within our people, and I know you and I have been working on that, and I'm really excited to roll it out because, to be honest, those are the people I actually really enjoy being around. So
yeah, and they're also easier individuals to work with. So let's look at this. Your mailing, does that go out every single month?
We're working on it. Yeah, we're, it's getting more consistent. I would say every 2 months for sure, to the direct mail list, and we're trying to grow that. Have little competitions at the office to make sure that we're feeding that mail list and keeping it growing.
Okay.
And then my assistant is holding me accountable to that too, which I like. So.
Now you guys also, I mean, you're automated in terms of how you reach out to them, because I'm sure there's people that that don't necessarily take the direct mail as strong as others. There's other individuals that are going to be more techy, that are going to appreciate the online contact a little bit more. So what do you, for an online perspective, how do you guys, that you use for that? Do you put emails together and send it out? What have you found to be the most effective way to do that?
For sure. I've tried it both ways. Whenever I thought I could automate this process with the Sphere, I've never received the same response as if I added that personal touch. And I know we all say time is very valuable, and it is, especially when we're growing and pushing, but that extra time you can put into that personal connection, whether it just be that video text, which takes actually less time than trying to fumble around with autocorrect, is super beneficial. You may not hear back instantly. You may not get a video text back, but they'll say, oh yeah, I just came back from vacation. Yeah, thanks for that note. And that's all I really needed to get, because 2-3 days later you'll see referrals and, oh, I just talked to a friend and they're listed with another agent, but they need a new perspective. Or you start to become in that conversation by doing that.
So hold on. So talk to me about video text. You and I both, I mean, we know what this is. We love it, right? In fact, I remember we were getting ready to schedule a coaching call, and you video texted me. It was like one of the first ones I got. I'm like, yes, I love it. What is a video text, and how do you use it? And just sort of take us through that, because everything is going mobile. We're seeing it so much. I mean, if your website doesn't have mobile capability, then you're sort of dead in the water. You know what I mean? So, and everyone is always on their phone, constantly on their phone. Computers, are going, are becoming dinosaurs. So, what is a video text, and how have you used that?
Well, this world has become a selfie nation of sorts. So, this is just a video version of a selfie, and it's simply, this is not produced. This is off the cusp. It's something personal and genuine. That's just the phone's in front of you. You're speaking that same message, and with some passion and some personality to it, just to reach out to say, hi, it's been a while. I just drove by your house. How are you guys doing? Those kind of things. And it can be a 20, 30-second message that goes out to these people. And, I have yet to get one back, but that's simply all it is. And it takes less time than fumbling around with texting, and adds a whole different element that most people will never get from somebody else, especially a service provider like we are. So,
you know what, the feedback we've seen is sometimes we get responses back because we use it during our lead follow-up too, right? Like we use it online for lead follow-up, but when we see people, they go, oh my gosh, we received that. That was so cool. It's awesome. So I'm sure you're going to begin to get that. So online, let's talk about this. Your business this last year added a major component to it that it had a little bit in 2013, but by no means did it have the momentum that it has right now. And I think a lot of the face of your business has shifted because of that. So what is your online, what have you done this last year? Where have you placed your bets from an online perspective over the last 12 months?
Sure. Yeah, well, at the tail end of 2013, I launched a Boomtown platform. So again, whether you've heard of Boomtown or not, there's many sites like this that are meant to be search-heavy buyer sites that provide lead capture, so that the registrations, we get back-end support, we can see that they've logged in, we get their contact information, we can follow up with them. So it takes us from this online presence to the window shoppers, to somebody who's actually in your store and you can go and talk to them. It's an expensive option, but it's again, the leads and the amount of lead flow we get from it is large. I learned real quick that you need a team there to help support you on that, and a systems and procedures so you don't let these leads kind of fall through the cracks, which can happen. So when you're ready for it and you're growing your team, I have I explored everywhere. I'm an engineer from my background, super data and analytical, and I didn't want to take on something just because somebody told me to. So I checked every platform out there, and I was very happy with Boomtowns because it offers this amazing lead capture online. We can drive traffic to it, and then we can follow up with them and ensure that that lead becomes ours and becomes our client, not somebody else's.
So you know what? It's whether it's Tiger Leads or Conversion or Boomtown or Market Leader or Pro Agent or and. There's so many sites out there that people have access to, right? Or
That's
Wise,
right.
etc. And I think we all have online leads, whether it's even Zillow or Trulia or Realtor, that they're coming in. And you know, I hear on a regular basis, oh, such and such isn't working that well. And they're referring to whatever source it is that they have from online leads. And I always think at that moment, I think, well, is it the source that's not working, or is it that we're just not working in the right strategy to be able to convert these leads over? Now, I mean, did you just turn Boomtown on and all of a sudden, 30 days later, you had 25 sales, or was there sort of knocking around in the dark a little bit, figuring it out? You know, what was your experience?
Yeah, well, my business prior to this year and taking on a platform such as this was pretty traditional. Like I said, 80% of my business was past clients, fears, referrals. So this online space was new to me. To know the length of time sometimes it takes to convert these people, the amount of follow-ups that you need just to get them to be on your side. You know, that was all fresh and new because I didn't have to work that hard with Sphere, right? They're yours. They trust you already. So that conversion process was a lot more intensive than I ever thought. And the data and everything that you guys spit out at us about you know, the Harvard Business Institute stuff, you know, about how quick you need to respond to a lead and how many touches do you need until you get to convert, and it's all very, very, very true. And we're finding it every day. And my goal is to provide success stories to my team of how long it took me to follow up until they converted to me. And I love sharing that if it's 15 or 20 times. And I can say, guys, this was from 8 months ago, and we're still working it, and they're here ready to go now. So just to get away from the instant gratification over to it's a longer process, and follow-up is the biggest part of it.
Okay, so awesome. 3 pieces. Here I am. I'm an agent. Leads are coming in to me. You know, I have online leads. I'm not converting at the level that I want to. I'm not hitting whatever the percentage is. You know, 3%, 5%, 10%, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that depending upon the source of the lead. If you were sitting down having coffee with me as an agent, and I said I want to get to where you are, or some of the other great gurus are in terms of lead conversion for online, what are the 3 things that you would recommend that I do?
Sure. Well, I guess the first thing I could say was getting to these leads quick. When you have a good source where you might see 3 to 10 leads a day, you don't take them for granted. They need to be called back within 5 minutes, and it is true. The longer you wait, the less chance you're ever going to speak to these guys again. So that's first. My ISA, she's on that. She's on point. She makes sure of it. But in the early going with my buyer's agents on the ground, we didn't quite have that same urgency, whether it's because they knew another lead was coming 5 minutes from now, or because they're in a mobile atmosphere that's harder to get to. But that's first. And then setting a reason for them to come back to your site, right? And you know, e-alerts where a property hits the market, it's got your branding, they come back and it's on your space, so they're thinking of you if they want to see it. You know, make sure that's there, but make sure it's correct to their search patterns, not to some system automated one that will give them something that's frustrating to look at. And then I guess beyond that would be just to get to those 8th and 9th follow-ups. And you have to get to those points, or else to me you're wasting your money. So
I love it, man. Okay, I mean, you know, we have a Boomtown platform too, dude. And so I'm sitting there going, this is just a great reminder, you know, of this. So I love number 1, be quick. 5 minutes, man. Okay, and you and I were in conversation, and you said this before. You said it's even better if they're still on the site when you follow up with them, right? When they, you know, if they're still on your site. Number 2, have, so this is critical, and I want to touch on this really quick. A lot of agents, I've noticed this, what'll happen is they'll get that lead that'll come in through their portal, through their Boomtown, Tiger Leads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then they'll put them on an MLS-generated type of hot sheet that spits out properties to them, but it doesn't pull them back to their site. And my thought is right along with you, man, is do everything you can to pull them back to your website, right? And so, and what do you notice? Does that create branding? Does it like hold them in? Why is that so important?
For sure. No, it's you know, some of these platforms, the back end, the searches might not be as specific as we can get on the back end of our MLX, but the branding component, and because there's a good chance they're on 15 other sites, yep. And you want to make sure, and they're getting these same properties 3, 4, 5 times a day if they've, you know, if they're pretty aggressive out there. So they got to remember you, not like you said, that MLS sheet that is branded, but it doesn't pull them back to where they remember coming to see you. Totally. I also know, I guess, if I added a fourth one, is learning your scripts and making sure you're getting as much information so that you, you know, when you do speak to these people, that you can get enough so that you know, you're building a rapport as quickly as possible and becoming that trusted resource. Because really, they literally window shopped online and then decided to pick up the phone with you, and you got to build that rapport as fast as possible. And we work on that now, and I'm listening to recorded calls of my ISA to see how she's doing with that. And you guys offer some great scripts and how to, you know, get to the point as quick as we can.
You know what? It's so fascinating to me that it doesn't matter how many leads you have coming in. If you open your mouth and you verbally vomit, you've just wasted all the time, energy, effort, and money that you spent to generate that lead to begin with, right?
For sure.
So you guys do role play? Do you guys role play as a team on a regular basis?
Yeah, and again, it's something we're always working on. You could always do better at it. The team, they're open to it, and it was kind of, you know, when you first bring that up, it's not the easiest thing to push them through, but you realize that it's a numbers game. We have to get better at it so our conversions get better. I've got my ISA role playing. I think even role playing with yours,
yeah.
Which is great because again, we get a sense for how they're doing as well if they're not locally here with us. So,
you know, it's interesting. When it comes to skills, hockey players are practicing right now, right? I mean, they're practicing for all, you know, off season. They're practicing for on season. Football players, off season, on season. World Cup's going on right now. The amount of practice that goes into the performance is amazing, and that's, I think, the difference between when we see a professional agent, a great salesperson, versus someone that is just an amateur, right? Is that the professional still practices and is still building their skills. So it's so exciting to see you guys doing that and even expanding it. You know what? You've got so much going on. I have 2 more questions here before our short time together ends. I mean, you got 2 kids. You got a 10-year-old and you got a 6-year-old. You got a beautiful wife. You know what I mean? You guys do a lot of fun stuff. How do you manage it all? What is the process that you use, you know, to be able to manage a life in addition to having a 140 transaction a year, 150 transaction a year real estate business?
Yeah, for sure. You know, you know, that's been a big learning curve for me and trying to figure this all out, because the sales business is my focus, but I have 4 other businesses here as well that do need some of my time. And then again, I don't want to leave my family behind. So you're right. It's something I've really put a lot of time and attention to this year. It's been centered around time blocking, prioritizing and time blocking, and sticking to my calendar. Once it's in there, it's gold, and I will do it. But if it's not there, it just doesn't exist, and I will miss it completely because I don't have enough headspace to keep it all in. It's got to be on paper. It's got to be on something, whether it's your iPad or your phone or your, you know, traditional way on your notepad on your desk. It's got to be there, or else it just won't happen with as much stuff as we have on the go. So I plan out, well, we've got our business plans, then I go quarterly, then we plan monthly, and reassess it each month. We go weekly, then I figure out what part of my month's plan will go into this week, and then put it in. So find the time. I know, you know, what time I got to bring my kids to school and when their soccer events are and their hockey and their skiing. But I have to fit all that in. I've got commitments to entrepreneur organizations, things like that. So if it's there, it's get done. And then when it's in there, you're much more focused about it, right? You're not just thinking about what should be going on. today when it's already planned out for you, because if it's not in there, it probably wasn't that important. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always say, Darren, I can tell a lot about what, or if not all, about the priorities of someone's lives based upon them showing me their calendar. And what's in their calendar, right, like actual written in their calendar, are the things that are important to them. And there's a lot of individuals that don't, they just sort of, I call it shagging balls, right, down here in baseball. They go run over here and they grab one baseball, and then they run over here and they grab another one, and then they run over here and they grab another one, and they're never deliberate, they're never intentional, you know, and they have a life by default versus design. So you're designing your business on a weekly basis, actually on a daily basis. You're doing it, right? You're writing out your daily like schedule, your plan. You do, and I just got your business plan for July, so you know I've seen that and it's completely outlined. And you're also plugging your family in, which I love. You're actually putting your family inside your schedule to make sure that they've got the appropriate space as well too. So they, as you said, don't get left behind. I love it.
for sure.
You know, one last thing. I look forward to our calls on Friday, because you have, you know, as analytical as you are, right, as you said, you have such passion and such drive, man. You know what I mean? And you're caring, you know, and you're compassionate about the people that are on your team. How do you, I mean, are you lit up and inspired every day, or on those days that you're not, how do you get yourself going, man? How do you keep yourself pushing forward? Because I know Tom said the difference between successful people and those, he calls them the rich and the rest. The rich find a way to do the things they don't want to do on the days they don't want to do it. The rest only do what's comfortable and only do the things that they want to do. And that's what separates, you know, that big gap between the haves and the have-not in real estate. So how do you get yourself geared up and passionate about your day, passionate about your business on those days, if you have them? I don't know, do you have off days sometimes?
Oh yeah, have off days for sure. We probably just came off about a week's worth of them. So.
So how do you do it, man? How do you get yourself geared up on those days, and you know, to do your 5-5-4, to make your calls every single day, to do your hour of power, your prospecting?
Sure. Yeah, you know what? It's a struggle sometimes, because you can get caught up in the grind, right? And you might lose touch of why you're doing this. Like, what's that big reason behind all of this push? Are you creating a job for yourself, or are you trying to create a life for yourself? And I have to find myself refocusing on the bigger picture, so that I can get down to these smaller tasks. You know, so that I can systemize and make it like almost lining up your dominoes, just like you know, the one thing would say. So you know, it's really yeah, taking the big goal down to something small that I can deal with. Thinking about that big goal freaks you out. And it's not just that extra phone call or that next Facebook message. You know, when you simplify it down to something so small, everybody can feel like they can attain that, right? So that's what I try to do when I look up my deal board and I get a little overwhelmed about my goal, and that might put me down because I say, how am I going to get there? But when you focus it back to something so simple like your next hour, or your next hour of power, or my next something, it makes it you're like, wow, this is easy, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right? So I use that a lot. You know, the team I have is focused, and you know, they're great, and you know, they offer a great support network, but it's really, yeah, just diving it down and making it super small so that it's not overwhelming.
Awesome. I love it. It's, you know, the phrase is called chunking down. Actually, it's a process where you take something that's really big and you just break it down so it's very simple. You know, if you look at it, oh my gosh, I got to make 2,000 calls this year to be able to hit my goal, or I have to do all this marketing, your brain gets overwhelmed. So brilliant point, man, in terms of that. Hey, what is your why? What is the dominant thing that's driving you right now? I mean, you've already succeeded at an incredible high level. I mean, many people would listen to this and go, hey, this guy's a rock star. He's kicking booty and taking names. What keeps you driven? What keeps you moving forward now?
Oh, wow, I feel like I'm just getting started, to be totally honest. So I've got so much to learn, so much to implement, systems to tighten, financial goals to hit that are out there. So, but the big why, I had a great engineering career before I decided to embark on this crazy entrepreneurial track I'm on with my business partner. But it is my family. You know, I mean, getting back to being able to spend time, my chosen amount of time with them, so that I can just deal with my passions, do what I want to do when I want to do it, because I have a business that can support me to do it. You know, my family and my charity and my faith, all that stuff is very huge, and it's why I'm doing this all. You know, we don't live in the most lavish house. We probably never will, because the other stuff is much more important to us. We'll have the means to do it, though, if we would want. But you know, that's a big part of it. So.
Freedom, baby. And you know what? You know what I love? I'm looking back on your wall. If you turn around, you can see your doing, and done board. And there's your beautiful family, all 3 pictures right there in the middle of it, which is absolutely fantastic. I love to see that you got your planning board up too. Many people don't know about that doing, and done board, which is, you know, a fantastic tool where you take something that you have to do. You have a column for you have to do. You have a column for doing, right? And then and you just move those 3x5 cards over. Do you find that that's really effective for you?
It is, yeah. It's great, and you know, I only keep so much in the doing section, because again, I don't want to overwhelm. You know, there's a few key things each month that I want to make happen, and then you get a done board like I have that is large, right? You know, you take on a few little things at a time, but if you don't get it up there in visual, again, just like your calendar, it won't get done. So I've got an ideas section that doesn't even hit my do, because that's just in process. I'm not even putting a lot of headspace to it, but when I have time, I'll get there. So.
Awesome, man. So where will you, hey, 5 years from now, where will you be?
Ooh, 5 years from now? Well, it's a very good question. I hope to be in the 2 to 250 deal a year range is kind of my goal. I hope to be pretty much fully leveraged out of it. I want to have the listing people, the buyers, the assistants, so that this can run without my involvement. I have a feeling I always want to sell. I like that. I like the win and the passion, and then, you know, what you get when you put a great deal together for a client. I'll likely be in the luxury market more so than anything by then, and picking and choosing what I'm doing. So you know, look back and having this real estate business be a sort of passive income for me, like the other business units here at the company. So you know, I'll probably still be in Calgary. We've got a great city here, but I'll be traveling a lot. So.
You got to enjoy the 3 days of summer that you guys have up there, man.
Yeah, we're in our second one today. Yeah.
Right on, man. Hey, so one last little thing here. What would you leave these guys with? These guys and gals, these men and women that are listening right now, these great agents. Piece of advice. What is the one thing that you notice that has made the biggest difference for you in your business in terms of having such incredible growth that you could leave these guys with here today?
Oh, you know what? Again, I've said it a couple times. I used to be an engineer, so we're very analytical. We're not extroverts, you know, by nature. So everything I'm doing here, whether it be a door knock campaign or putting myself out there to Sphere, or having an online presence like we do with videos, it's all completely out of my comfort zone. And every day I'm having to push and push. And my team, we celebrate our failures every week in our team meeting, because I want to see who is swinging outside of that comfort zone, because that's where the magic happens. No different than that 10th and 11th rep when you're doing a chin up or something like that. So that's where I feel we really grow, and that's what I try to do each and every day. If I can find a way to get myself there, that's one big one for sure.
Dude,
find a way to swing.
Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, you are analytical. This is something that, like, getting out and getting in front of individuals takes a lot of gumption to do, man. So listen, I want to say thank you so much, Darren. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I think the world of you. You know, you brought so much great information here today. I know that I'm walking away, even as your coach, and, you know, someone who's a peer of yours, just going, oh, great ideas. Like a couple of things that I can't wait to share with my team and for myself as well, too, to implement. So thank you. We're grateful for your time here today and really appreciate you taking time away from one of your summer days to be able to be with us here, man.
I am wearing my shorts today, so I'm very happy.
Good.
Thank you as well, Bill. The whole organization has been amazing for the last year. I can't wait to keep sharing these successes over the next half decade. The groups of people here and the network that we have at Tom Ferry is amazing. It's second to none. I can't think of a better group of people and resources to jump into, and I get a lot out of it, both personal and in business. So.
Yeah. those of you that are interested in a little bit more information, some of the things that Darren's talked about, the doing, done board, our scripts, please go visit us at tomferry.com. That's www.tomferry.com. There's a boatload of free downloads of information that we have for you, because our goal is to make sure that your success is a natural progression, that you show up and success occurs. Look forward to our next real success interview. We've set the bar really high here with Darren, and looking forward to bringing you even more great information, more great ideas, and most importantly, strategies for you to go out there and be the dominant agent in your marketplace. So look forward to speaking to you soon, and until our next real success interview, keep your mind focused on the future. Keep your actions right here on the present, and keep on moving forward. Keep on being powerful. We'll look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.